Now let's get it started. Let's get it started.
Play ball!
Chelsea played a 0-0 draw with Crystal Palace at the Bridge. Chelsea dropped 2 points at the Bridge against Crystal Palace. I think we saw that game on Sunday. Fantastic game from both teams, especially from Crystal Palace. I like the way they set up their team. The way they set up, won them that FA Cup against Manchester City, won them that Community Shield against Liverpool. Now they got 1 point at the Bridge against Chelsea. But if you look at that game in general, Chelsea, I won't say that they did bad, but Crystal Palace matched them blue to blue, especially in that midfield. They marshal Palmer very well in that
midfield. As it should be.
They had even more touches.
As it should be.
When you do your homework, then the other coach called outsmart you. Now what they call this one? Oliver Glasner outsmarted Enzo Maresca. Let's be honest, because when you set up your team, you're expecting them to press while you evade the midfield and send long balls into the final third, and your players can attack from there. They were expecting Crystal Palace to press, come forward and leave that gaping hole between defense and goalkeeper. And Crystal Palace didn't settle for it. They settled in the midfield, closed the gap in the midfield. Those traps that Chelsea said, they were the one that was even countering it. So whenever you set a trap, you're walking straight into your own trap. That was what that's how Crystal Palace set up in this game. And they were just lucky. Chelsea was lucky to have come out of this game with 1 point.
Talking about that incident in that game, they scored a fantastic free kick, but the VAR checked it and they showed that Gueye was close. He was close to the wall, and the rule in quotes said that he had to give it 1 meter away from the wall. But I looked at the other replays, free kicks. Sometimes I see defenders
in front of the wall,
beside the
wall. Anything around the wall.
I don't know why they decided to implement this today. So, but Chelsea were lucky, truthfully, for them to cancel that goal, because that goal was a fantastic goal from
8 rules that were added to the Premier League officiating rules.
The rules have been there.
I think they want to highlight that 8, that particular 8 plus the goalkeeper 8 seconds rule that they added. That 8 that they listed before the beginning of the season, I feel like it's going to cost a whole lot of teams this season. It's going to cost a whole lot of teams, not just this one against Crystal Palace. It's going to cost many other teams. And in the first game, between Liverpool and Chelsea, there was Liverpool and Bournemouth, there was handball incident. VAR did not check out. So game week 1, I started giving VAR complaints. Fans are beginning to complain. Reporters are beginning to complain. You get, but let's say that's that. But Chelsea's setup, it go hard for them to win match. If they continue to set up like this, it go hard for them to win match.
See, this is normal way. I don't understand how they set up, John. This is the normal they were going to set up. Apart from that defense that they have an issue with Archibald played and actually did fantastic. We did well in that game. Their midfield is going to be Palmer, Enzo, and Caicedo. Everybody knows that.
As it should
the striker is going to be either Delap or Joao Pedro. Neto will play either from the left or from the right. Then the problem is that Gittens, even though everybody had high expectations for him, but he did not actually do well in this game. Probably that's why they are trying to bring in Garnacho or Simeon in that team. But Gittens didn't play that much well. Neto tried, but Joao Pedro was him. I didn't even see him. They put the lab. They had probably one chance on target, but Chelsea setup is going to be. Do you think that this setup can win the Premier League? Because it's not about buying all the players, it's about making them a challenge for the league this season.
I think everybody can agree with me that all that hype and glitz around world champion has faded away with that result.
He don't quench. They don't use water quencher.
But that badge still there. That badge is going to be.
The badge is allowed. I have the badge on my own to avoid it, so it's not an issue. But that all those SS hype, we are this, we are that, is a thing of the past right now, because after spending how much they spend, they couldn't win a common Crystal Palace. Secondly, number 1,
all the hype of I will beat Crystal Palace.
All the hype, yes, that Liverpool
give them two goals away. Liverpool even try score goal. Liverpool scored 2 goals.
Thank you.
You shot on target in front of day.
So for me, I feel like all those hype will be out the window as of yesterday. It's now coming back home to look at, okay, where did we go wrong? How can we fix it? For me, if Gittens is not fitting in that left back, in that left wing right now, we've seen Neto play there, and you give somebody else on the right a chance to go.
Esam entered that game.
That game, I feel like that game could have gone either ways. But when he made the subs, I think both managers made subs that wowed me at some point. And when he made the sub, I think he removed Gittens and one other person and brought in Santos and Estevao Williams. Estevao Williams on the right, Pedro moved to the left.
Yes.
And it became a swift kind of fluid flowing attack where you can see Estevao on the right now. The next thing you're seeing him on the left. They were just switching and they were getting in. And there was a time where Estevao got a 1v1 situation in that game, beat his man, beat the other person, and made a cross to the far post, but there was nobody to lock in the pass. There was nobody to connect to the ball there, and that was where Pedro felt like, oh, I could have made this run earlier enough, but he didn't. So I feel like Estevao from the right would have made a whole lot of sense. And if you you want them out of the team, at least give them play time now. Definitely it would have worked out because Christopher Koko was nowhere to be found. And Gittens, I will say it again, was MIA. In short, the front line was MIA in this one. The only person that was present in that front line yesterday was Pedro Neto.
Let's talk about Palmer, because Palmer have not scored an open goal since January in the Premier League. He have not scored an open goal since January. It's been a very, very long time. Even though he's a fantastic player, but I think that part of the way Crystal Palace set up that game is actually to freeze him out of that team, and it actually worked. He could not actually get that marshaled that midfield. The Crystal Palace actually followed him everywhere he was going, marshaled him. And Joao Pedro, the striker, he didn't get anything on goal. After scoring that fantastic goal in the Club World Cup, he didn't get any stiff on goal. But Palmer and Delap and Pedro are they the way forward for Chelsea, because it go hard though. Because these are other teams are doing well.
There's a saying that goes that when your enemy is making a mistake, don't correct him. That's all I'll say on it.
Palmer is the way forward for Chelsea. He's a world class, according to you guys.
Palmer is a world class. I'm talking about
Palmer is world class
prospect.
QED.
He's a world class, according to you guys. I'm not saying he's not a world class yet. No, only 2 seasons.
That one concern you.
The only 1.5 season we don't see.
That one concern
Last season, from January till the end of season, he no score goal from open play. How many goals did he score in the Premier League from open play, if not PKs and free kicks?
Oh, wow.
From open play, how many did he score?
Wow.
From January to the end of the season? He scored from penalties and free kicks.
How many of your players can score from free kick?
James Ward-Prowse is the ask question. James Ward-Prowse.
Prowse is there. Let's leave.
I don't even need to call him name. Ain't calling him. Call him again. James Ward-Prowse, set piece specialist.
Now the
only good ones. The only man that can score anything set piece.
How many he scored last season?
He no play most of last season. Leave that.
Whose fault?
I think
Keep quiet and back somewhere
I think Palmer is a good player. He's a world class player. But
world class prospect.
The problem is that the striker
player, bro.
The striker is the striker for Chelsea.
How is it that the striker?
And the lap is I don't.
Wait now. How is it that the striker? In the Club World Cup, the strikers were scoring goals and were singing songs of praise. Now they don't see Postecoglou against Crystal Palace. You want blame striker. The people that didn't create the chances for the striker, what about them? It's just about. You see, I've said it before. He's a world class prospect. Everybody believes otherwise. That's their business.
Concern you.
It concerned me, like I said, he's a world class prospect. But in the Chelsea setup yesterday, you had an Adam Wharton and Ismail Assar, who was mostly dropping down to defend. Eberechi, who was mostly in the midfield, also trying to help the team defend. And Mark Hughes had been away the C road that was also there controlling the tempo of the game. That was also there defending. Now Grandpa I can boldly call him Grandpa, he don't old, but he was boldly defending for the Crystal Palace side and also creating chances, making passes that could lead others to a 1v1 situation. Okay, that fantastic game of football. Let's talk about eberechi, because he is a player that's subject to transfer this summer. He's 27 years old and he's in quote, he's in his final, he's the peak of his career. He needs to play in quote for another bigger club for him to test probably Champions League, test other competition rather than what he's playing with Crystal Palace. But he came in and did very well. You will not even know that he wants to leave the club. That's the same thing. That's why I like some players like that. Even though you want to leave, but come and give your best. That's why I used to force players like Isaac. You want to go. You are talking with the ball, but let me come and train. Play the games that I need to play. When the transfer happens, I will move. Eze played a fantastic game yesterday, and he scored a goal that was ruled out by VAR. But let's see. But if you look at that game, in statistics in that game, Chelsea. In that game, if you look at statistics in that game, just had 19 shots in total, but only 3 was on target. So they were just shooting anyhow, missing targets everywhere. 19 shots with only 3 on target for Chelsea. They had more possessions and more passes, 568 passes for Chelsea. For Crystal Palace, it was basically similar, 11 shots in total, but had more shots on target, 4 in that game. Remember, they ruled out SS free kick, had lesser position and lesser ball, but it was a fantastic game of football. Chelsea dropping 2 points at the Stamford Bridge. Remember, other big teams are winning. This particular game, you still start winning, because if you are start losing points at the beginning of the season, where other teams are winning, it's going to be hard. You are now playing catch up
from day one. So Maresca needs to fix his team. Probably he needs Garnacho, he needs Simeon in that team. He probably needs more wingers. He needs defender. But let's see what Maresca would decide. You have about 10 days for the 10 days before the transfer window closes, so they are still talking to Garnacho. Let's see if they are going to bring in Garnacho or other players to help Chelsea challenge for the Premier League.